Hey guys, welcome. I'm Mark Crypto Boy in Oz. It is the 20th of September. And if you're looking at Coin Market Cap or Coin Gecko today, you're probably thinking, what the hell is going on? Like we've just had like a price dump and we've been kind of bouncing back from it. And then all of a sudden we're getting another one, and it's like, seriously? And this is when you realize that events outside of crypto can have a big impact on crypto itself. They don't, like the stock market and crypto, although the crypto recovers a lot faster than the stock market. Crypto has massive drops compared to the stock market. Your stock market goes down a few percent and it's absolutely mammoth. But then that has a knock-on effect on crypto, and crypto will go down like 20-30% in the same breath. So it can be pretty daunting. And if you're wondering like what's happened, or you're just waking up and you're thinking, oh my god, and first things first, don't panic. And what you've got to remember is when you go into, and sorry if my voice is a bit off, I've actually been off work today because I'm full of a cold and my throat's killing me. I'm just living on lozenges. But if you're wondering what the hell happened, I'm just going to quickly bring up this story, and it's a Chinese firm called Evergrande, and I won't go massively into it, but basically they're about 300, but they've got about 300 billion in liabilities, and it looks like they're going to be defaulting on some debt, and they've got like customers all around the world where they loan to like banks and institutions. I think the fear at the minute is that the knock-on effect, not just for Evergrande in China, it's a knock-on effect which can be echoed around the financial world in different kind of markets. So this is, in a nutshell, what's caused this, and not necessarily just the $300 billion in liabilities, but the kind of what they've got going on with like different institutions and lenders in different parts of the world. And obviously the stock market wakes up to this and prices start to crash, and like stock markets around the world have kind of gone down between 1 and 2.5 points. And if you look at the US stock market, they've not woke up yet. And I think once they do, then I think everybody's kind of waiting on what's going to happen from there. So the prices that we're seeing now, like if we look at Bitcoin, it's not a very good look at the minute. I mean, you look at this support line, this trend line, what I've got, and it's in the last few hours, it's just kept dropping and dropping, and like now we're at 42.9, and we've kind of gone below, obviously, any resistance there, and we could be going down to like 41, down to like between anything between 38.5 and $41,500 if it's going to go down any lower. What I will say is don't panic and don't sell, because the worst thing you can do, if you look here, crypto bubbles, like everything, I mean everything is red. I mean one of my big investments, one of my biggest bags is in Thorchain, in Rune, and it's 24% down. Like Luna is 24% down. Avalanche 20% down. Everything's more or less 15 to 25% down. There's very little that's not. I don't think anything's more than that. What I will say is though is anybody that's invested in real small cap coins, they'll probably have they will have a bigger knock-on effect, and they will go down more. It's just obviously your smaller cap coins, it doesn't take as much to bring the price down. So I'm invested in a few, but once it's already happened, it's kind of too late. You've just got to ride the wave, because if you start selling now, you're just playing into the people's hands that are going to be buying them up really cheap. And like say for Rune, for instance, 24% down now, you've kind of missed it. Like if you'd have foreseen this, obviously 6, 7, 8 hours ago, then maybe you could have got out like 10% loss, and then you could have bought back. But when it's got to the point where it's dropped so much in price, it isn't worth cashing out because it might not go down anymore, and then you're missing out. Then you're going to buy back at an higher price, which is the worst thing in the world. If you've got some cash on the side, probably now could be a good time if you think that we're not going to go down anymore. But my personal opinion is that wait until the stock market opens, which is going to be soon. And I think once that opens, then we're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, I think it still could come down a little bit more because it's probably going to take them most of the day to figure out like how bad it is, and if they're going to pull back, the market could pull back and it might not go down much more, but it could go down more than what it is now. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin's down only 8%, but then you start looking down the line, Solana, XRP, Cardano, Polkadot, Doge, they're all between 10 and 15%. Luna's down 20%. But it's like one of them, and you can't really get out now, because if you get out now, it's just one of them. You could be missing out, because if it doesn't go down and you've cashed out, trust me, it's the worst feeling in the world. Especially when it goes back up, you feel sick. Literally, I mean, you feel bad now, like because your price has gone down. But going into cash, I mean, I'd go into Bitcoin if I were going into anything. But even then, like, it could bounce back pretty quick. And if it does, and you're like out of the game, it's not a good feeling. If you look at the fear and greed index, it's at 50, and to be honest, that isn't reflective of right now, because it's got like a bit of a knock-on effect where it's probably about 6. Well, let's have a look. The next update will happen in 14 hours. So I think by tomorrow, and we start looking at this, I think this is probably going to be down between the 25 and 30 range, because it's going to put the fear of God into people. And if the stock market does come down, then it's going to have a negative effect on your cryptos as well, even more so than what it is now. So I just wanted to just basically tell you not to stress too much, because at the end of the day, if you're buying coins for long term, it doesn't really matter what the price is. Even though you look at it, it makes you feel sick. You think, "Oh, I've lost this. I've lost this." You've not lost it. You've only lost it if you go back into USD, if you go back into cash or stable coin. If you keep in it, then what I suggest, which is sometimes hard, but just kind of forget about it and just think, okay, if it comes down, all you can do to improve the situation is find more cash, find some more money. And I wouldn't do it now. I'd wait until tomorrow, and then when tomorrow comes, you wake up and like check, like you obviously see Bitcoin now at this price, and if crypto carries on coming down, you wake up tomorrow and it's even lower, like it's getting really low. Instead of stressing and think this is the time to sell, it's opportunity. It's opportunity, and it's time to buy. So like now, there's certain coins like if you look at Terra Luna, 20% down. All these coins, they're all on specials, but at the minute it's a bit difficult to jump in because it could be coming down a lot more. You could have another 5, 10, 15% downside on some of these coins. Some of them could be down 35, 40% this time tomorrow. Well, 12 hours from now. Once you've had chance for the stock market to wake up and see what they think's happening, and I think the whole world is waiting on the same thing. The whole world is waiting on what happens when the Dow Jones opens, and I think a lot of movement will happen in the next hour to the next 8-9 hours. I think there'll be a good understanding then of what's going to be going down on the stock market in the US, and then that'll have a knock-on effect around the world, and it'll either be a positive or a negative. And I'm hoping that they're going to bounce back and there's not going to be much of a panic. But if there is, then that's where you've just got to find a little bit more money and getting some really good buys in, because it's not going to last. I mean, I mean, in a week from now, we could be back up to where we were yesterday. So it's not like it's going to last. So don't stress. And if you do obviously have any cash on the sidelines, then it's a good time. It's a good time to stock up. So again, I wouldn't jump into anything now, unless you see something that is already 30% down and you want to like put a little bit in, and then if it does go down tomorrow, you can buy some more. But yeah, I wouldn't go mad on anything today, because it's uncertain if it's going to stay at these levels, it's going to bounce back, or it's going to go lower, and we won't know. And probably we won't know until, I'd say, another 1 to 8 hours from now. So there you go. So I hope you found this video, I won't say entertaining, but enlightening. Because if you didn't know what was going on, it's all because of these guys here, Evergrande, and it's probably brings back memories of like the Lehman Brothers collapse in 2008, when everything kind of just went absolutely, well, you know what happened there, and we don't want to repeat of that. And I don't think it's going to be anything as bad as that, because they've got 300 billion in liabilities, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that much, but it can obviously have a negative impact on the stock market. Then obviously the crypto market is already showing what it can do when fear comes into the market. And again, I think this tomorrow will be 25 to 30. And if it is, then possibly some good times to buy and get some real gems that maybe you missed out on. Because some things will really drop in price, like your low cap gems, and the ones that you didn't get enough of. There's quite a few which I want to pick up more of, especially on the Solana ecosystem. Some of the Solana ones like Serum, Saber, Mango markets, the prices of them are already dropping, so I'm going to stock up on some of them if I get a chance tomorrow. But anyway, I'll leave it with you. If you've got any comments, you want to have any videos specifically on specific coins, drop it in the comments, and I'll get around to doing it as soon as possible for you. I like to do content on what you guys want. So like any tutorials on stuff, please drop it in the comments and I'll get around to doing a video for you. So that's all for now. If you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and remember, invest well. And this moment now, when you see all the small cap coins that maybe you've invested in are dropping through the floor, that's what happens in a crash. Bitcoin down 8%, but you go down the list and they just go down and down and down. And it's not because they're bad investments or bad coins. It's just that there's less money in them. So the people that have got big stakes in the coins, like your big whales, if you will, that have invested big, like in the IDO maybe, or they own a big proportion of the coins. So if they choose to jump into Bitcoin as a safe haven, it can have a dramatic impact on the price. Where then they'll, in a day or two, they'll jump back in again and they'll have made X amount more of the same coins. And they can't do that in big cap gems because they've not got the amount of coins to move the market. Whereas your small cap coins, they could have like 15% of the entire holdings on these really small ones. And that's why the market moves so much on your tiny coins. So don't stress, just try and buy more. Anyway, that's it for now. Until the next video, thanks for watching. And remember, there's a crypto boy in everyone, even you women out there.